I'll let my wife have a go at you." Newman shook hands heartily with his host, but did not ask him to remain, and then he relapsed into his place on the sofa, opposite to Mrs. Tristram. She presently asked him what he had done after leaving her. "Nothing particular," said Newman. "You struck me," she rejoined, "as a man with a plot in his head. You looked as if you were bent on some sinister errand, and after you had left me I wondered whether I ought to have let you go." "I only went over to the other side of the river, to the Carmelites," said Newman. Mrs. Tristram looked at him a moment and smiled. "What did you do there? Try to scale the wall?" "I did nothing. I looked at the place for a few minutes and then came away." Mrs. Tristram gave him a sympathetic glance. "You didn't happen to meet Monsieur de Bellegarde?" she asked. "Staring hopelessly at the convent wall as well? I am told he takes his sister's conduct very hard." "No, I didn't meet him, I am happy to say," Newman answered, after a pause. "They are in the country," Mrs. Tristram went on, "at—what is the name of the place? Fleurières. They returned there at the time you left Paris, and have been spending the year in extreme seclusion. The little marquise must enjoy it. I expect to hear that she has eloped with her daughter's music master." Newman was looking at the light wood fire, but he listened to this with extreme interest. At last he spoke. "I mean never to mention the name of those people again, and I don't want to hear anything more about them." And then he took out his pocketbook and drew forth a scrap of paper. He looked at it an instant, then got up and stood by the fire. "I am going to burn them up," he said. "I am glad to have you as a witness. There they go." And he tossed the paper into the flame. Mrs. Tristram sat with her embroidery needle suspended. "What is that paper?" she asked. Newman, leaning against the fireplace, stretched his arms and drew a longer breath than usual. Then, after a moment, "I can tell you now," he said. "It was a paper containing a secret of the Bellegardes, something which would damn them if it were known." Mrs. Tristram dropped her embroidery with a reproachful moan. "Ah, why didn't you show it to me?" "I thought of showing it to you. I thought of showing it to everyone. I thought of paying my debt to the Bellegardes that way. So I told them, and I frightened them. They have been staying in the country, as you tell me, to keep out of the explosion. But I have given it up." Mrs. Tristram began to take slow stitches again. "Have you quite given it up?" "Oh, yes." "Is it very bad, this secret?" "Yes, very bad." "For myself," said Mrs. Tristram, "I am sorry you have given it up. I should have liked immensely to see your paper. They have wronged me too, you know, as your sponsor and guarantee, and it would have served for my revenge as well. How did you come into possession of your secret?" "It's a long story, but honestly, at any rate." "And they knew you were master of it?" "Oh, I told them." "Dear me, how interesting!" cried Mrs. Tristram. "And you humbled them at your feet?" Newman was silent a moment. "No, not at all. They pretended not to care, not to be afraid. But I know they did care. They were afraid." "Are you very sure?" Newman stared a moment. "Yes, I'm sure." Mrs. Tristram resumed her slow stitches. "They defied you, eh?" "Yes," said Newman. "It was about that." "You tried by the threat of exposure to make them retract?" Mrs. Tristram pursued. "Yes, but they wouldn't. I gave them their choice, and they chose to take their chance of bluffing off the charge and convicting me of fraud. But they were frightened," Newman added, "and I have had all the vengeance I want." "It is most provoking," said Mrs. Tristram, "to hear you talk of the charge when the charge is burnt up. Is it quite consumed?" she asked, glancing at the fire. Newman assured her that there was nothing left of it. "Well, then," she said, "I suppose there is no harm in saying that you probably did not make them so very uncomfortable. My impression would be that since, as you say, they defied you, it was because they believed that, after all, you would never really come to the point. Their confidence, after counsel taken of each other, was not in their innocence, nor in their talent for bluffing things off. It was in your remarkable good nature. You see, they were right." Newman instinctively turned to see if the little paper was in fact consumed, but there was nothing left of it. End of Chapter 26. End of The American by Henry James.